have withdrawn, so I call Baroness Bennet to Manor Castle.
Thank you, my lords. I was going to say it would be a great pleasure to follow the noble Lady Baroness Whitcroft. As former newspaper editors, we both could have reflected on how there was once a silly season where we weren't this close to Christmas having to deal with such serious issues. But I'll do it anyway. I also wish to welcome the noble Lord Sharp of Epsom to this House in declaring my position as the co-chair of the All-Party Parliamentary Group on Hong Kong. There may be many things on which we don't agree, but I do hope that we will be able to agree on ensuring the rights of those Hong Kongers who wish to come to the UK, and also to standing up for Britain's position as the signatory to the Joint Declaration on Hong Kong. Now, I wish to start the reflection on the bill with a couple of numbers. 112 pages, 29 pages of explanatory notes. And we have 4 or 5 working days, depending on how you count it, until Christmas. Now, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but I think it has to be said, and I'm reflecting the words of the noble Lady Baroness Kramer, who I note isn't currently in her place. But small business people who might, after a horrendous year, be thinking about winding down, finally getting a bit of a break, having to plough through all that paperwork, and as the noble Lady Baroness Kramer said, seek expert advice at this point in the year. Now, I usually try not to repeat what others have said in your Lordship's House, but I have to join in many others in celebrating the government's U-turn on the notwithstanding provisions of this bill. That a UK government could be planning to break an agreement that it signed only 12 months ago is something that is going to resonate for long on the world stage. And I would say to your Lordship's House that every time we hear from the government benches, as we hear so often about amendments to bills, well, this doesn't have to be on the face of the bill. You can trust us, we've said this is our policy. We can all reflect back to where we are today. And we also have to reflect on the fact that the Brexit ultras have had to face up to reality. The easiest negotiations in history is a phrase that we must remember being said. And drawing a couple of parallels to this, I reflect on the Oxford professor Erasmus Wilson in 1878, who said, "When the Paris exhibition closes, electric light will close with it and no more will be heard of it." And the president of Michigan Savings Bank saying to Henry Ford, "The horse is here to stay, but the automobile is only a novelty, a fad." We're in that kind of territory, my lords. For this legislation lays bare the emptiness of taking back control. Your Lordship's House is passing this bill in one day, while the other place passes the new Trade Brackets Disclosure of Information Close Brackets Bill, which of last night no one even had the opportunity to read. We're going to be doing our best to scrutinise so many things, but as we've been seeing, particularly in the other chamber of your Lordship's House, where we've been looking at statutory instruments that modified previously passed Brexit statutory instruments, I fear we're going to be seeing the same cycle again early in the new year. Now, I have to join the noble Lady Baroness Altman in welcoming the modest measures in this bill against tax dodging. And I can only say that I hope this is the sign of much more to come from the government benches opposite. This tackles a very small part of the issue. There are very, very large factors to be tackled here. And I also have to mention that I'm happy to see the increase in the aviation gasoline tax, but it's nowhere near enough, particularly after the disastrous ruling in Supreme Court today on Heathrow expansion. Flying is the most carbon-intensive form of travel, but it's undertaxed and inadequately dealt with in the Paris Climate Agreement. I think I also have to reflect on that and note today sees the tragic but terribly important coroner's conclusion about the death of Ella Kissy Deborah, that air pollution was a cause of her death at the age of 9 years of age, the first time such a finding has been made in the UK. I would ask the House to take a moment to pay tribute to her mother, Rosamond, for her long fight to get this medical reality recognised. But I'm going to finish with a question for the Minister. I don't know if perhaps at this late hour he can ride to the rescue of Boris Johnson in offering an explanation of how the people of the UK will actually benefit from Brexit. Those people who right now are making a weary trudge to the food bank to get food for Christmas. The self-employed people who've been left for so many months without any money at all through the gaping holes in the government's COVID rescue packages. The weary teachers struggling to provide education and security for their pupils amid the chaos. How will they gain from Brexit, whether it's a no deal or the scantily patched together thin deal that is now our best hope? We know that the surfers of disaster capitalism, the hedge fund traders, the purveyors of fancy financial instruments, will benefit from the chaos. They always do. A few people will profit and the rest of us will pay. Thank you, my lords.